Blood vascular system of cockroach, it has got heart chambers, hemocoel and hemolymph. Now the heart chambers, it has got 13 heart chambers which are broad posteriorly and narrow towards the anterior end. Each narrow end of heart chamber communicates with the broad end of the preceding heart chamber. Except the 13th heart chamber, all the other heart chambers laterally are provided with a pair of valvular apertures called ostia. Except the 13th heart chamber, all the other heart chambers are provided with laterally placed valvular apertures called ostia. All the ostia facilitate circulation of blood from the pericardial sinus into the heart chambers, but they prevent backward flow of blood. The first heart chamber opens into the head sinus through the only blood vessel called aorta. Only blood vessel called aorta. Now heart chambers in cockroach are neurogenic under the control of nerve fibers of somatogastric nervous system. Under the control of nerve fibers that are given up from somatogastric nervous system. The hemocoel of cockroach, the body cavity of cockroach is called hemocoel. The hemocoel is divided into three sinuses by two membranes. It divided into three sinuses by two membranes. The upper chamber is called pericardial sinus that lodges 13 chambered heart and 12 pairs of alveolar muscles. It lodges 12 pairs of alveolar muscles and 13 chambered heart. Twelve pairs of alveolar muscles and 13 chambered heart are embedded in pericardial sinus. The middle one is called perivisceral sinus. The perivisceral sinus encloses various visceral organs. The lower one is called perineural sinus that lodges double ventral nerve cord. So this is perineural sinus that lodges double ventral nerve cord. Now the membrane that lies between pericardial sinus and perivisceral sinus is called dorsal diaphragm or pericardial membrane. The membrane that lies between perivisceral sinus and perineural sinus is called ventral diaphragm. Is called ventral diaphragm. Thus the blood vascular system of cockroach is open type without any definite blood vessels. The only definite blood vessel present in cockroach is the aorta. Then hemolymph. The blood of cockroach is called hemolymph. It is colorless due to the absence of respiratory pigment. Because the transport of gases is rendered by the tracheal liquor that lies within the trachea and tracheoles and tracheoles are in contact with each and every cell of the body to supply more and more amount of oxygen here now. That's why the hemolymph does not render the function of transport of gases. Consequently, it does not have any respiratory pigment and it is colorless. Then the mode of circulation of blood here now. Whenever the alveolar muscles, the 12 pairs of alveolar muscles contract, the dorsal diaphragm becomes flat. It is pushed outwards. The entire dorsal diaphragm is pulled outwards. As a result, it becomes flat. When dorsal diaphragm becomes flat, blood from perivisceral sinus flows into pericardial sinus. No sooner blood flows into pericardial sinus, the alveolar muscles relax. As a result, the dorsal diaphragm once again becomes dome shaped. Due to reduction in the volume of pericardial sinus, blood from pericardial sinus flows into heart chambers through laterally placed ostia. And the heart chambers contract rhythmically and drive the blood into the head sinus through aorta. From the head sinus, once again, blood flows into perineural sinus and perivisceral sinus. Now, from perineural, blood flows into perivisceral sinus whenever the volume of the perivisceral sinus increases, and from perivisceral sinus, blood flows into pericardial sinus due to flattening of dorsal diaphragm or pericardial membrane. The major excretory organs in cockroach, or the chief excretory organs in cockroach, are Malpighian tubules. The Malpighian tubules are present at the junction of midgut and ileum. They are ectodermal in origin. They are arranged in 6 to 8 bundles. Each bundle has 15 to 25 Malpighian tubules. About 100 to 150 Malpighian tubules are present. They are slightly yellowish in color. Arranged in 6 to 8 bundles. Each bundle has 15 to 25 Malpighian tubules. About 100 to 150 Malpighian tubules are present. Malpighian tubules were discovered by Marsilio Malpighi, but however he called them vasa varicosa, and the term Malpighian tubule was given by Michel. The term Malpighian tubule was given by Michel. Now the Malpighian tubules are present at the junction of midgut and ileum. This is a Malpighian tubule here now, like this they are present. Now each Malpighian tubule is internally lined by cuboidal epithelium with brush border. Then it is divisible into the distal secretory part, and the proximal absorptive part. The proximal part that opens into midgut is called absorptive part, and this blind end of the Malpighian tubule which floats in the hemolymph is called secretory part. The secretory part collects nitrogenous waste from the hemolymph in the form of sodium urates or potassium urates. The nitrogenous wastes accumulate in the form of sodium urates or potassium urates in the hemolymph. They are absorbed by the secretory part and they are in turn discharged into the lumen of the Malpighian tubule. Within the lumen of the Malpighian tubule, the sodium urates combine with the carbon dioxide to form sodium bicarbonate plus uric acid. Within the lumen, that is, the secretory part collects sodium urates and potassium urates from the hemolymph, discharge them into the lumen. Within the lumen, the sodium urates or potassium urates combine with carbon dioxide to form sodium bicarbonate and uric acid. The sodium bicarbonate is absorbed by the gland cells of the proximal part, and water content of the uric acid is also absorbed by the gland cells of the proximal part, and finally the uric acid, crystals of uric acid are released into the lumen of the ileum. Like that, the Malpighian tubules play an important role in conservation of water by absorbing sodium bicarbonate and absorbing water content of uric acid to form crystalline part of uric acid. Apart from Malpighian tubules, cockroach has certain axillary excretory organs. Number 2, urate cells of Corpora adiposa. Corpora adiposa are fat bodies. There are certain cells called urate cells. These urate cells absorb uric acid from the hemolymph and various tissues, and thereby they exhibit storage excretion. They store them to help in to maintain the concentration of the body fluids, and the process is called storage excretion. Apart from urate cells, there are uricose glands of mushroom gland. Mushroom gland is a reproductive gland present in the male cockroach now. In the mushroom gland, there are peripheral tubules called utriculae majors. Within the utriculae majors, the uricose glands are present. These uricose glands collect nitrogenous waste from the hemolymph, store them till copulation. At the time of copulation, the uricose glands discharge nitrogenous waste over spermatophore. So they are shed off along with the spermatophore. Then apart from this, there are certain amoebocytes within the cuticle here now. Even these amoebocytes also collect nitrogenous waste and store them, and they are shed off along with the exuviae at the time of molting. So below the cuticle there are certain amoebocytes. They store nitrogenous waste and they are shed off along with the exuviae at the time of molting. So apart from Malpighian tubules, cockroach has got additional excretory organs like urate cells of Corpora adiposa, uricose glands of utriculae majors of the mushroom gland, and the amoebocytes of the cuticle. Now nervous system of cockroach here now. First we will talk about the central nervous system of cockroach. It has got a pair of supraesophageal ganglions. A pair of supraesophageal ganglions present above the esophagus. These supraesophageal ganglions are sensory in function. Each supraesophageal ganglion is formed by fusion of protocerebrum, deutocerebrum and tritocerebrum. So supraesophageal ganglions are above esophagus. They are sensory in function. Each supraesophageal in turn is formed by fusion of protocerebrum, deutocerebrum and tritocerebrum. Then apart from this, it has a pair of subesophageal ganglions. They are below esophagus. The subesophageal ganglions are motor and endocrine in function. They are motor and endocrine in function here now. Each subesophageal is in turn formed by fusion of maxillary ganglion, mandibular ganglion and labial ganglion. Each subesophageal is formed by fusion of maxillary ganglion, mandibular ganglion and labial ganglion. Then there are three pairs of thoracic ganglions. One pair in prothorax, one pair in mesothorax and one pair in metathorax. Then there are 6 pairs of abdominal ganglions. 6 pairs of abdominal ganglions. The abdominal ganglions are present in first abdominal segment, second abdominal segment, third abdominal segment, fourth abdominal segment. Fifth abdominal ganglion is present in sixth segment. Fifth abdominal ganglion is not present in fifth segment, it lies in sixth segment. Then sixth abdominal ganglion is in seventh segment. Then seventh abdominal ganglion is in, I repeat once again, the abdominal ganglions, we shall repeat again. Now abdominal ganglions now, 6 abdominal ganglions are present. First abdominal ganglion, first to fourth abdominal ganglions. First to fourth abdominal ganglions are present in respective segments, that is first to fourth abdominal segments. So first to fourth abdominal ganglions are present from first to fourth abdominal segments. Now the fifth abdominal ganglion lies in sixth abdominal segment. Fifth abdominal ganglion is not present in fifth segment. Fifth segment does not have any ganglion. The fifth abdominal ganglion lies in sixth abdominal segment. The sixth abdominal ganglion lies in seventh abdominal segment. So there are 6 abdominal ganglions. First to fourth are present in respective segments. Fifth abdominal ganglion is present in sixth segment. Sixth abdominal ganglion lies in seventh segment. Now in seventh abdominal segment, the largest ganglion is present. The terminal abdominal ganglion that lies in seventh abdominal segment is the largest. It is the largest. It is formed by fusion of ganglions of sixth segment, seventh segment, eighth segment, ninth segment and 10th segment. So it is formed by fusion of 5 ganglions altogether here now. So I shall repeat once again. Dear students, the sixth abdominal ganglion lies in seventh segment. In seventh segment, terminal abdominal ganglion is present, that is supposed to be the largest ganglion. The terminal abdominal ganglion that lies in seventh segment is formed by fusion of ganglion of sixth segment, ganglion of seventh segment, ganglion of eighth segment, ganglion of ninth segment and ganglion of 10th segment. So all of them constitute central nervous system. Now the peripheral nervous system of cockroach now. The protocerebrum of supraesophageal ganglion gives rise to optic nerve fiber that goes to compound eyes. The deutocerebrum of supraesophageal ganglion gives rise to antennary nerve fiber that goes to antennae. The tritocerebrum of supraesophageal ganglion gives rise to labral nerve fiber that goes to labrum. The sensory nerve fiber labral that goes to labrum. Like that, each supraesophageal ganglion gives rise to 3 nerve fibers: optic nerve fiber, antenna nerve fiber, labral nerve fiber. The sensory labral nerve fiber unites with motor nerve of frontal nerve of frontal ganglion to form labrofrontal nerve fiber. The labral nerve fiber that arises from tritocerebrum is sensory. The motor nerve fiber of frontal nerve of frontal ganglion, both of them unite to form labrofrontal nerve fiber. So on the whole here now, the nerve that arises from tritocerebrum is called labrofrontal, which has got a sensory labral nerve and a motor frontal nerve. Each subesophageal ganglion gives rise to 3 pairs of nerve fibers, each 3 nerve fibers: maxillary nerve fiber that goes to maxilla, mandibular nerve fiber that goes to mandibles, labial nerve fiber that goes to labium. So each subesophageal ganglion, as I made a mention earlier, is formed by fusion of 3 ganglions: maxillary ganglion, mandibular ganglion, labial ganglion. They give rise to maxillary nerve fiber, mandibular nerve fiber and labial nerve fiber, which are supplied to the respective organs. So subesophageal ganglions are basically motor and endocrine in function. Supraesophageal ganglions are basically sensory in function. Now, each thoracic ganglion gives rise to 3 pairs of nerve fibers which are supplied to spiracles, wings, legs and muscles of the thorax region. Spiracles, wings, legs of muscles of thorax region. Now, the prothoracic ganglion gives rise to 3 nerve fibers to the organs of the respective segment. Mesothoracic ganglion gives rise to 3 nerve fibers which are supplied to the organs of the respective segment, and metathoracic ganglion gives rise to 3 nerve fibers which are supplied to organs of first abdominal segment. Prothoracic ganglion gives rise to 3 nerve fibers to the organs of respective, that is prothorax region. Mesothoracic ganglion gives rise to 3 nerve fibers which are supplied to the organs of mesothorax and metathorax. The metathoracic ganglion gives rise to 3 nerve fibers which are supplied to the organs of first abdominal segment. The first to fourth abdominal ganglions, give rise to 1 pair of nerve fibers, and they are supplied to organs of second to fifth abdominal segments. Clear, dear students? Since the first abdominal segment gets nerve fibers from the metathoracic ganglion, the nerve fibers that are given off from first to fourth abdominal ganglions, wherein each abdominal ganglion gives rise to 1 pair of nerve fibers. So the nerve fibers of first to fourth abdominal ganglions are supplied to the organs of second to fifth abdominal segments. The nerve fibers of sixth abdominal ganglion are supplied to sixth abdominal segment. The nerve fibers of sixth abdominal ganglion is in sixth segment. So the nerve fibers that are given off from the sixth abdominal ganglion are supplied to sixth abdominal segment. Then in seventh abdominal segment, the terminal ganglion is present. That is supposed to be the largest abdominal ganglion. It gives rise to nearly 5 pairs of nerve fibers. And those nerve fibers are supplied to the organs of the posterior region, that is 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th abdominal segments. At the same time, the testis, then ovary, then copulatory appendages like anal styles, anal cerci, phallomeres, gonopophysis, all of them are supplied with the nerve fibers that emerge out from the terminal abdominal ganglion that lies in 7th abdominal segment. The autonomic nervous system in cockroach is also called somatogastric nervous system. It consists of a frontal ganglion that lies above the pharynx in front of the brain here now. The frontal ganglion is connected to esophageal ganglion, which is also called hypocerebral ganglion. Is also called hypocerebral ganglion or esophageal ganglion, which is there above esophagus. Esophageal ganglion is connected to ingluvial ganglion that lies on crop. Ingluvial ganglion is connected to proventricular ganglion that lies on gizzard. So autonomic nervous system or somatogastric nervous system consists of frontal ganglion, esophageal ganglion, ingluvial ganglion and proventricular ganglion. Esophageal ganglion is also called hypocerebral ganglion or occipital ganglion. Occipital ganglion. The ingluvial ganglion lies on crop. Now the frontal ganglion, as I made a mention, it gives rise to a frontal nerve which is motor in function. That frontal nerve unites with the labral nerve of tritocerebrum to form labrofrontal nerve. Frontal ganglion is connected to esophageal ganglion by recurrent nerve fiber. Esophageal ganglion is connected to ingluvial ganglion by esophageal nerve fiber. The ingluvial ganglion is connected to proventricular ganglion by two nerve fibers, namely dorsal and ventral nerve fibers. Dorsal and ventral nerve fibers. Now all these ganglions coordinate the functions of alimentary canal, the spiracles and respiratory system and heart chambers. The male reproductive system of cockroach consists of a trilobed testis. So these are the two testes where each testis is trilobed. The testes are present from 4th to 6th abdominal segments. They extend over 4th to 6th abdominal segments. Each testis gives rise to a vas deferens. These are the vasa differentia that emerge from each testis. The two vasa differentia open into ejaculatory duct. The two vasa differentia open into ejaculatory duct in 7th abdominal segment. The ejaculatory duct is also called ductus ejaculatrix. The ejaculatory duct opens outside through male genital pore that lies on ventral phallomia. So towards the tip of this, there is a leaf-like ventral phallomia with male genital pore that lies in 9th segment. Male genital pore lies in 9th abdominal segment or 9th sternal plate, you can say, and it is embedded in the ventral phallomia. Now at the junction of vasa differentia and ejaculatory duct, cockroach has got a repetitive gland called mushroom gland. Now the mushroom gland lies in 6th and 7th abdominal segments. It has got two kinds of tubules here now. Peripheral long tubules called utriculi majors. The peripheral long tapered finger-like projections are called utriculi majors. The central short tubules are called utriculi breviores. The utriculi majors, they secrete innermost layer of spermatophore, while utriculi breviores secrete the middle layer of spermatophore. Apart from this, there are two seminal vesicles in male cockroach. So these are the two seminal vesicles. Two seminal vesicles are there at the center of utricular gland or mushroom gland here now. The seminal vesicles are meant for storing the spermatophores or spermatozoa. So at the junction of vasa differential ejaculated duct, the respective gland present is called mushroom gland. The mushroom gland is also called utricular gland. The mushroom gland has got peripheral utrically majors. They secrete innermost layer of spermatophore, and middle one are called utrically brevios. They secrete the middle layer of spermatophore. Then the seminal vesicles present at the center, they are meant for storing the spermatozoa till ejaculation. Then apart from this, there is a club shaped structure called conglobate gland or phallic gland is present. The club shaped gland that lies behind the utricular gland is called conglobate gland or phallic gland. It opens outside through the phallic duct. The phallic gland secretes outermost layer of spermatophore. So three-layered spermatophore is formed during copulation, where the innermost layer of spermatophore is secreted by utrically majors. The middle layer is secreted by ejaculatory duct, and outermost layer is secreted by conglobate gland or phallic gland. Dear students, remember this point here now. Earlier I told that the utrically brevios will be secreting middle layer. They do not secrete middle layer. Utrically brevios nourish the spermatozoa. Utrically majors secrete innermost layer of spermatozoa, spermatophore. The conglobate gland or phallic gland secretes outermost layer. So spermatophore has got three layers here now. Innermost layer of spermatophore is secreted by conglobate. Innermost layer of spermatophore is secreted by utrically breviors. I repeat once again. Innermost layer of spermatophore is secreted by utrically majors. That single-layered spermatophore, as it starts passing through the ejaculatory duct, the secretions of ejaculatory duct form middle layer. Now two-layered spermatophore at the time of copulation is transferred from male cockroach to female cockroach. Once the two-layered spermatophore is stuck to spermatical papillae of female cockroach, the conglobate gland discharges secretions over two-layered spermatophore to form the outermost layer. So remember, EAMCET, AAPMT and other exam point of view, innermost layer of spermatophore is secreted by utrically majors. The middle layer is secreted by ejaculatory duct. The conglobate gland or phallic gland forms the outermost layer of spermatophore. Utrically brevios are meant for nourishing the spermatozoa. The seminal vesicles are meant for depositing the spermatophore till ejaculation. Then apart from ventral phallomia, male cockroach has a right phallomia and a left phallomia. It has got three phallomias, a right phallomia, a left phallomia and ventral phallomia. All the three phallomias are given off from ninth sternal plate. The female reproductive system of cockroach now, it consists of a pair of ovaries. So these are the ovaries here now. Ovaries are present from second to sixth abdominal segments. So ovaries are present from 2nd to 6th abdominal segments. Each ovary in turn consists of 8 ovarioles. So these are the ovarioles. Eight ovarioles. Like this, these are the ovarioles now. Each ovary has got 8 ovarioles. Now the ovarioles are slightly swollen towards the end and narrow to a taper towards the anterior end. The anteriormost tapered end of the ovarioles is called germarium. The posterior swollen part of the ovarioles is called vitellarium. The germarium gives rise to ova by oogenesis process, while vitellarium part stores the ova, mature ova. Now each ovary in turn gives rise to an oviduct. The two oviducts unite to form a common oviduct or vagina. So this is the common oviduct or vagina. The common oviduct opens into genital brood pouch or genital chamber. The common oviduct or vagina opens into brood pouch or genital pouch. The brood pouch or genital pouch is formed by fusion of 7th, 8th and 9th abdominal segments. 7th, 8th, 9th abdominal sternal plates, where the 7th sternal plate gives rise to two boat-shaped gynovalvular plates or apical lobes. The 7th sternal plate gives rise to two boat-shaped gynovalvular plates or apical lobes. The gynovalvular plates or apical lobes form the floor and sides of the brood pouch. The 8th sternal plate forms anterior part of the brood pouch. 9th sternal plate forms roof of the brood pouch. So brood pouch is formed by the fusion of 3 sternal plates now. 7th sternal plate gives rise to gynovalvular plates or apical lobes. They form floor and sides of the brood pouch. 8th sternal plate forms anterior part of the brood pouch. 9th sternal plate forms roof of the brood pouch. Then brood pouch or genital pouch, internal it has got 2 chambers now. Anterior gynatrium or genital chamber and posterior oothecal chamber. So it has got anterior gynatrium or genital chamber, which is the site of fertilization, and posterior oothecal chamber. Now this brood pouch is supported by 3 pairs of gonapophyses. So these are the gonapophyses now. A pair of anterior gonapophyses and a pair of posterior gonapophyses. A pair of anterior gonapophyses and a pair of 2 pairs of posterior gonapophyses. The anterior gonapophyses originate from 8th sternal plate and the 2 pairs of posterior gonapophyses originate from 9th sternal plate. Like that, the gonapophyses in female cockroach originate from both 8th and 9th sternal plates. 8th one gives rise to a pair of anterior gonapophyses. 9th sternal plate gives rise to 2 pairs of posterior gonapophyses. The gonapophyses act as ovipositors, that is, they help in deposition of eggs. Then they also help in carving and molding the ootheca or oothecal egg case. They help in carving and molding the egg case or ootheca, and they also help in deposition of eggs in the oothecal chamber. Then apart from this, the female cockroach has got a spermatheca which has got a right sac-like structure and a left filamentous projection. The spermatheca has got a right sac-like structure and a left filamental position. The spermatheca opens through spermathecal papilla. So it has got a single spermatheca. The spermatheca has a right swollen sac-like structure and left filamentous projection. The spermatheca opens into genital chamber through spermathecal papilla. The two-layered spermatophore is stuck to the spermathecal papilla at the time of copulation. Then after the spermatophore being stuck to this, the conglobate gland or the phallic gland discharges secretions over the two-layered spermatophore to form the outermost layer. Then apart from this, it has got two collateral glands, a well-developed right collateral gland and reduced left collateral gland. So it has got two collateral glands. Right one is well-developed and left is filamentous now. The collateral gland secretes certain chemicals now called 9-oxydecenoic acid. These chemicals help in formation of ootheca or egg chamber, that is ootheca or egg case or cocoon. I repeat once again, there are two collateral glands, right collateral gland and left collateral gland. The right collateral gland is well developed than the left one. The collateral gland secretes certain chemicals. Okay, those chemicals help in formation of ootheca or egg case or cocoon. Now a cockroach lays about 16 centrolecital eggs. Since each ovary has got 8 ovarioles, so both the ovaries secrete around 16 centrolecital eggs. Those 16 centrolecital eggs are deposited in 2 rows within the ootheca or egg case. Then where the fertilization takes place within the fertilization takes place within the genital chamber. After fertilization, the zygotes now are deposited in the cocoon or ootheca or egg case, and the 16 zygotes now they hatch into the young ones called nymphs. The nymphs differ from adult in being very small in size, with immature gonads and with colorless skin. Slowly during molting, they acquire chitinous exoskeleton, they acquire mature gonads and they increase in size. The type of metamorphosis that takes place in cockroach is called gradual or parometabolous metamorphosis. The metamorphosis that takes place in cockroach is called gradual or parometabolous metamorphosis. If metamorphosis involves egg, series of nymphs and adult, it is called gradual or parometabolous metamorphosis.